Hey, yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, back at you once again, Themightyroq. You know how it be. We streaming live on Twitch every single day, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're actually live on Twitch right now. We're doing something kind of a new video, not to be confused with the regular gameplay videos. We're actually going to be doing a VHS weapon tier list. Wah! People, awesome. I am live on Twitch right now, so you'll be seeing some chat on the screen as well. But I will not be bothering with those Twitch frogs. It's all about the YouTube frogs right now. Alright, so S tier, what is like the best weapon in videotape game? I'm thinking, is this even all the weapons? I guess it is. Huh. I guess when you think of the mods, there's so many different kinds of weapons. But I'm not going to think about the mods. I'm just going to think about the weapons and their base form. And I'll maybe talk about the mods if I think they're good. But yeah. So S tier. Best weapon in the game, period. I'm going to give it to the Infernal Eye. See, I think the Infernal Eye is so busted because it's kind of difficult to use, but when you're playing Monster, it is so scary. I feel like there's almost like no counterplay to it. It's got plenty of ammo to chase down any monster. If you're playing against Dollmaster, you can literally just react, summon Eye every single time, and be able to stun Doll, push body, whatever. So it's not like the RC where you can hit the RC and like you can outlast the RC. Like you can outlast Eye technically, but if it's a full Eye and you've been scouted as the monster, there's almost no counterplay. So besides teen error and its very lack of defensive capabilities, aka the monster is running at you, they're in chase with you, you can't exactly open the Eye when Werewolf is in tension track range because he can just howl react to it when he hears it. Wart can armor up react when he hears it. So defensively it's not very good, but utilizing team play, utilizing like scouting the monster, and Dollmaster. It's like Dollmaster is the only time Eye has any defensive capabilities. So that's the Eye. Second best weapon in videotape game. Well, should I start from the top? I think I'm just gonna start from the left to right now. Now that because undisputed, I think the Eye is so good. But next we'll go with the Enigma. The Enigma has good range, cannot kite, aka no lingering slow. You have to charge it up by slurping the monster's tension track. I hate this weapon. D tier. I'd say against a werewolf because it has a little bit more range, and it auto locks. Similar to the Sacred Staff, it does auto lock, so it's harder to strafe if you catch the monster in a choke. But a majority of the time, if the monster is positioning correctly, utilizing the map and cover, they'll just walk away from it. And when I'm playing teen solo queue, and I see people building this weapon, the majority of the time they're found before they even charge it, and it's just trolling. I feel this way about most charging weapons, but I do see an organized play, perhaps with some team play, that it can be a bit of a problem, but this is not that situation. Yeah, I hate the Eye in a teens public match. Okay, next weapon, Le Cross. I'm going to give Cross A tier. So Cross is really easy to use. It was much stronger back in the beta. They've nerfed it a couple times. But yeah, it has relatively high ammo cost for lethal. It's somewhere between 28 to 31 on the ammo cost for lethal. But a lot of your good monsters know that the Eye is short range, and they'll kind of position around it. So once they know you have Eye, they'll kind of push you even without using their abilities, such as like Werewolf can usually just outrun it. Like, yes, it's wide and the werewolf's in a choke, but like if he's got distance, if he sees you with the cross, he'll just kind of run near you and know its range and then wait for his howl cooldown. Wart can usually get the armor off from behind cover. It's a great defensive weapon, but its offensive capabilities leave it kind of weak, but it's easy to use. It's amazing versus Dollmaster. It's a really easy weapon to kill the dolls because the dolls are smaller than the monster bodies. So you can have a hard time hitting them with things that require aiming, like Cursed Sword and Ray Gun and Slingshot and the whatnot, but Cross really steps it up there. So great weapon. Usually when you have a completely new player to the game, a teen, I always recommend the Cross. It's a bit of a problem. But yeah, next weapon, Cursed Sword. I will also give A tier. I really don't know which one I like more. Like, I think I personally like the sword more because of its range. But I think it has a bit of a skill cap. It's not as easy to use as the Cross, but I will put it above because I don't think skill cap should vary. Or I don't think skill cap is going to be as much of a thing in my weapon tier list because I'm assuming like a situation where someone's playing perfectly, how oppressive is this weapon as a monster? And I think Curse Sword's really oppressive. Amazing supporting weapon, amazing mods, Gale Force, Mighty Swings. Swordsmith is just more ammo, you know, like they're all just so much pressure. The lethal count is also really, really good. It's 2 lethal on a stun target, like aka they sit in the wake the whole time. It's 3 if they're moving, so if they're going left to right, you just kind of hit them with the beginning of the wake each time. And there's like 10 ammo at base, 13 with Swordsmith, so it's already so many lethals. So you have so much ammo to play neutral. That's a really important factor, is playing neutral, especially with basic weapons, your Flamethrower, your Cross, your Cursed Sword, your Ray Gun. You want lots of ammo to play your neutral. So I'm a basic weapon fan. I've kind of been enjoying, you know, abusing the eye a bit more because I just think it's so busted. But yeah, carry on. Okay, Shock Sphere. I'm going to put the Shock Sphere at the S tier, kind of like with Infernal Eye. With a little bit of team play, this thing is just so oppressive. I feel like I don't know what you could even do against it most times as monsters. Same with Doll Master. You can always just cast it in the doll's face defensively and usually react in time to stun the doll or chase the Doll Master, vice versa. So against Werewolf, unless the Werewolf is running Savage, they can always react to you opening the umbrella that is the Shock Sphere. So I would say it's kind of in that situation. And against Wart, they did nerf it. In beta, it used to be as soon as you got in the Shock Sphere, you would be at max speed, or like really fast, like fast enough to outrun a leaping Wart. But now it takes about 6 seconds to ramp up to max speed. So if the Wart is next to you and armor's up, he usually can react and actually eat your weapon with his armor, or with their armor, sorry. They, them, non-binary Monarch Wart. I digress. So yeah, Shock Sphere. Should I put it top of A tier? Because when you open the umbrella on Shock Sphere, it actually does consume ammo. So let's say you start opening it and somebody gets hit, that already can, you know, that can be the difference between getting a stigma and not. But the eye, you can just keep, like, every time you like start to cast the eye, it doesn't cost any ammo. So I think that's what really puts it above Shock Sphere, even though they're kind of similar in like instant disintegration and scouting and team play being such a factor. Okay, Flamethrower. I'm gonna put Flamethrower at B tier. It's a basic. I absolutely love the Flamethrower. But they did nerf it. It no longer has a lingering slow. I have old clips of using the Flamethrower in the beta where you would like the monster and it would have a lingering slow, and it was a bit of a problem. Like I actually have this clip versus the best both sides player in VHS Cyclone TV. You already know. Gotta do the name drop because he's such a problem. But yeah, that guy's probably the best teen, best monster I've played against, period. My entirety of playing this game in the beta, in early access right now. But yeah, so. But now that we're on early access and going towards full release, Flamethrower no longer has a lingering slow. So I think it was A tier, but now it's B tier. The reason why it's B as opposed to like something else that's also short range and also really good defensively like Cross is because the projectile speed of the Flamethrower coming out is really slow. So monsters can usually hear it, react to it, and then move accordingly. So whereas Cross, when Cross comes out, that projectile speed is like instant. Like the Cross is instantly damaging, instantly slowing. So the Flamethrower technically has more range than the Cross, but it doesn't all the way come out that full range. So yeah, it can be kind of weaker in some situations. All right, Slingshot. I'm thinking. Slingshot's tough because Slingshot is an amazing weapon. As monster, like you're like always blindsided by it. Like you walk into the gymnasium on school and you just get stuck. But there is times where it's kind of hard to stick because monster hitboxes are shaped kind of weird. We don't 100% know how they're shaped because I've shot slingshots through monsters' arms, through their legs. It seems like if you aim for the head, you're always good. But again, this is something I still am learning. I'm thinking high A tier, actually, above Cursed Sword, because once you get that stick, it's almost always a stigma unless someone's in melee range. The monster gives them a hit, and then disruption. Like I really think if you get really good with Slingshot, there's almost nothing a monster can do. It is really strong. And if anything, thinking about how strong this is compared to Sword and Cross, I kind of want to do this. I'm kind of going to put these here, because if you play against really good monsters, they'll outplay a majority of your basic weapons. We haven't got to the ray gun yet, another basic weapon, another like first craft type deal. But really good. But yeah. Okay. Slingshot, difficult to use, very hard to react to on monster, and has a variety of uses. The mods that give you more ammo are really nice. Devoted one, aka one shot, but you craft it really fast. That could be super clutch in like a losing game and like a high skilled team. But yeah. Sacred Staff. Dare I say, better than the Enigma. But again, a Charging Charles, a weapon I very much dislike. Now, there is one mod on Sacred Staff I think that completely saves it. I loved building it during the beta. It was the Pure Sacrifice mod. Pure Sacrifice being, it gives you some charge progress on the staff, but it takes away your permanent health. So you could craft it while injured. It would take some of your permanent health, assuming you're not on death's door, you know, where you're like 1 hit to down or 2 hits to down if you're healthy. It'll charge up to like 60%. So if you craft it while you're injured, you self-care yourself a bit, and then you have a fully charged staff, and then you do the last 10% of your heal on like a quick fix or a med station, or a player will heal you. So that's like the only time I kind of like it. Like if Pure Sacrifice was like base or something, I'd probably put it at like B tier, because kind of like the Enigma, Sacred Staff has auto lock. So if you catch the monster in a choke, and it's got a bit more range than something like the Cross or the Flamethrower. But maybe, okay, I don't know. Enigma and Sacred Staff have their place, and I think good monsters are thrown off by them sometimes because they do have really good range. But man, I don't know, dude. I see these weapons built in public matches. I'm just being trolled. We even go as far to have an emote on Twitch called Staff Gaming, which is my boy Ron Swanson throwing the trash can in the dumpster, because I get so mad when we're like in super low disadvantage as a team and on team, and someone just built a staff. It's like you could have built Cross, you could have built anything to help everyone get off the ground, have everyone get reset. But it's just always, I swear it's always the staff. The staff's always when I'm being the most trolled. But I digress. I think it's a good weapon. Man. When it's used well, again, I said I wasn't going to factor in skill, but also my experience in public matches kinda, bro, fuck charge weapons. Gasp! No, okay, we can't say that on YouTube, but I very much dislike charge weapons. Alright, Molotov. S tier. S tier. A. Slingshot is a little inconsistent given hitboxes. Molotov is not. That thing hits the monster, you're gone. And the AoE on the ground is so big and it spreads out so fast. Like if you're werewolf or something, even if you're berserking, you run straight into that. You can't back out fast enough. Not to mention the mods that are very good supportive mods, like you throw down the molly, and you can have, like, you can run faster, you can... I'm a bottled up fan. I prefer just having 2 mollies, kind of one to defend myself and one to go for an aggressive play. But yeah. Molly's busted. I definitely think when organized play is happening for VHS, you'll see lots of mollies built to pinch monsters. Like, you force a monster down a hallway due to a molly or stuff like that. So, yeah. Speaking of, the majority of the time when you get a strike or a stigma or a stun in solo queue, it is you 1v1ing the monster with a weapon. I think a tier list for competitive VHS, when you're factored in like combos, like Flamethrower and I, or, you know, teams working together, that's when the game dramatically changes. But I'm thinking this mostly as a solo queue team main in public matches, how I think it be happening. And I think the molly's busted. When I'm playing monster, I am so scared of that thing. Kind of like Slingshot, you almost just can't react to it. But because the AoE field is so much better than Slingshot's AoE field, because if you don't stick that Slingshot, like, you're walking out of it like 4 out of 5 times. But with that molly, you are not walking out of it. You are done. But yeah, next weapon, RC. I'm gonna give it low A tier. High B tier. Okay, I'm gonna give it high B tier, because when you get stuck by that Slingshot, there's nothing you can do. You're just done. But RC has so much counterplay. I'm really thinking that some of these S tiers, even this A tier, can get nerfed down the line. But I don't think RC will ever get nerfed. RC is very balanced. If anything, it's too balanced. It's so balanced it hurts it. Because the monster can hit the RC, they can destroy it, they can hide behind cover and kite it out, you know, wait out its ammo. But where RC is really strong is it can safely scout monsters, because you can actually hear tension track while you're in the RC, which you cannot do in the Infernal Eye, which you cannot do in the Shock Sphere unless you have the Aberration Sensor mod. You can hear the tension track technically. But RC, you can hear everything. You hear the footsteps, you can hear your team shooting ammo. So when you have solo queue teams that aren't like communicating well via pings or pinging where they're running, the RC allows you to kind of scout the monster, find the Dollmaster body, etc., all from the comfort of behind a weapon, because you can push really aggressively with this weapon, and if the monster hits it, like, yeah, you lose a weapon, but you don't get hit. You don't lose like permanent health. Like, it's really awesome. As monster, I'm not that scared of it, because again, it's very balanced, but like, it puts out a lot of pressure in my opinion. So when it comes to team play, it is quite good. But okay, next weapon, Solar Flare. Solar Flare, low A tier. I'm telling you, this would be an S tier weapon if only good teams built it, but I swear only bad teams built it. This weapon is so good. It has so much zone control. The fact that you can just drop it in a room and the monster just can't go in that room, period, is so good to me. But what a lot of people do is they place the flare and then they stand under it. So Wart will armor up, jump into the flare and hit you, or eat the weapon. Werewolf will howl you. You know what I mean? So many people misplay this weapon. That's the only reason it's A tier. Man, I'm already back. I'm already contradicting myself, because I told myself that if I'm not going to factor in skill that much. But in my experience in public matches, so many people troll and misplay with this weapon. But it's so good. Hey, when competitive play is happening, private matches, I'm assuming like full release type beat, you're going to be seeing flare a ton. Like comboed. Like, you hide in the back of like auto shop, or not auto shop. How about let's just say you're in a big open room, yeah. You hide in the back of auto shop, send down an I, send down an RC. I guess I would say I. I is probably the best one, because RC, can't kill monsters in some situations. And then you have someone across the map with their solar flare sitting on top of you. You're pretty much untouchable. Like, because the person's away from you with the solar flare, so they don't get disrupted. I haven't been using solar flare a ton on early access, because I haven't been doing as much movies. I'm still playing for Axe right now, aka perks on all teens. But when I'm going for movies on some of the later teens, you're going to see me utilizing solar flare a lot more. A majority of my solar flare strikes being predicting monster spawns, but I might be speaking a little too soon, because they do actually plan to give monsters a disruption like shout on spawn after being banished, so that might not be a thing anymore, but I love doing that as with the solar flare. But I do think in organized play, I do think when you're like, hey, I'm putting this in the courtyard of school, loop around it, and then it's just like a permanent safe barrier the monster just can't touch. Like, it's just so good. Get ready to say high A tier. Nah, I mean, when I'm playing monster, I'm not that scared of it. I think people misplay it so much, but just in my brain, just how good it sounds. I think I'm talking it down, honestly. I think in my brain I'm talking it down, because I love the RC solo scouting potential. I love the pressure it provides. Bro, I'm keeping flare on there too. I think flare is busted. Everyone's garbage with it. All right, ray gun. Dare I say ray gun is going to be the only weapon, the only basic that makes it to A tier, low A tier. So you're probably like, sword? Nah, you're right. I think sword's better than ray gun, but I'll tell you why. So sword and ray gun are both amazing supporting weapons. They're amazing for scouting. They're amazing for defending yourself. They're amazing for following up things. But ray gun has no ammo. Ray gun has 28 ammo at base. And the lethal with ray gun is 9. So you have 2, not 3. 2 and some change on the no, it's 3, yeah? 3 times 9, 27? Whatever. You barely have 3 lethals and hardly any ammo to play neutral. But then you look at Cursor, which at base has 5 lethals, if you count 2. Or if you count 3, aka you're fighting a monster, he has 4. You know what I mean? So, like, Flamethrower has a pretty high ammo, low lethal. If anything, I kind of want to put Flamethrower higher tier, because its lethal is like 20-something. And it has like 100 ammo, whereas Crosses is like 30-something. But just Cross is so much easier, because it's so much, that instant projectile is so good. Man, I love the Flamethrower. Am I just a C tier builder? Maybe I am, dude. I don't know. But yeah, Raygun has this, what I love about Raygun is you one-tap the monster, and then while they're slowed by the projectiles, you can make distance. So it's really good for supporting your teammates, really good for waking up Dollmaster. Like, let's say you find Dollmaster's body, but he's in a spot where you can't actually kill him with the ray gun. You could scout him, wake him up, beep, And then while he can't, use his dolls, you're actually alleviating pressure around the map for your team and also scouting him. So I really like the ray gun, especially with fork shot. Fork shot is so good. Its downside is not good enough. Or I'm sorry, its downside is not that down of a side that it's not worth running, because it basically removes you having to aim horizontally. Yes, horizontally. If anything, in beta before they nerfed it, everyone ran fork shot. It was kind of busted. But now, because of the fork shot nerf, I could kind of see people not doing it all the time. But I still think it's super busted. But yeah, that is my VHS weapon tier list. Everything's up for change. Patches will change things. But as of right now, during Video Horror Society Early Access, I would say this is how I feel about every weapon. I think they all have their place. I think there's a situation where every single one is good, but we have to find those situations, to find those matchups. With new monsters added to the game, there will be new weapon situations, new weapon matchups, etc., etc. So I appreciate you much for hanging out. I hope you had a good time watching. Catch me live on Twitch, again, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every single day. You know where to find me. Socials in the description. Check them out. And I'll see you next time. I love you, beat it. Bye.